Hi Leo, Sun, Moon and Rising, welcome to Ethernal Realms, welcome to your April reading. So we'll talk a little bit about the astrology and then we'll move on to the tarot. So the biggest thing happening this month is this solar eclipse in Aries at the very last degree of the zodiac, which means it's kind of that cuspy vibe, and that will be taking place in your ninth house. And quickly, as soon as the eclipse is done, 8 minutes later, the moon moves into Taurus and the sun then follows, and we have a whole new zodiac season, which is Taurus season. So the ninth house and the 10th house is being most impacted for you guys if we go by your rising sign. And eclipses are major events, and they bring about some fateful changes, things that have been stuck for quite some time. They suddenly move forward. There is like a sudden culmination of things, so we might find ourselves quite busy around that time. But it kind of depends on your sensitivities to these transits as well. Not everyone feels them right away. You might notice that the events peak around like 4 months later, or maximum like 6 months down the line. So till we arrive at 4 months, we already have a lot of things being developed, and you can see the energies of this very clearly. I will talk a lot more about how this is impacting your zodiac specifically in eclipse dedicated video, which will come out later in April. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe and hit the bell. You will be notified whenever it's up. Now, the second major thing we have is Mercury going retrograde for the first time in this year. And this one's taking place in your 10th house of career, your goals and ambitions, your public image. So there can be some like recalibrations or reconsiderations that you are doing around this time as to what you dedicate most effort and energy to. What are your priorities and your goals? Like, we can't have 3 major goals all at the same time. They need to have some sort of labeling or priority in the form of a list. So when Mercury goes retrograde, you might find yourself doing things like that. Also, some professional connections you might have that could also be coming about here, and more specifically like really old connections with whom you've lost touch. You can get back in touch around this time. These are the best ways to use the retrograde time. But it's not a very good idea to sign like major contracts or like make huge company shifts. Maybe shifting a little bit of the teamwork is okay, but like the entire company, things like that might not be the best idea. Okay, because like I tried this actually. Okay, I was trying to defy this, and I went for an interview during the time of Mercury retrograde. I even made the application around this time, and it was something completely new I was doing. I've never applied in that field, and they called me and they said that I'm not accepted. I went for the interview. First of all, the timing was off, and they were late, and they didn't have the necessary people ready for the interview, it seemed quite unprofessional to me, but who knows? It's like retro time. Perhaps that's not really how they operate, but that's the experience I got, right? And also they kept trying to call me like way after my work hours. So like I'm not available after some point in time. So it was a little bit confusing, and they were not like leaving a text. They were not emailing. It was just phone calls from like random numbers. So that was a little bit fishy to me at that time. But either way, I went for the interview, and then they said that it's not possible. They hired someone else who has more relevant experience, and I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. And then they called again the next day saying that there was a miscommunication. Yeah, technical. This is a keyword for Mercury retrograde. You have miscommunications. And they said that this particular job is taken by someone, but there was another thing for which they think I would be perfect, and that I should go back down there and talk to a more professional person about it. So there was like a whole bunch of background stuff that was going on that I was absolutely oblivious to, right? So unless you want this type of drama, I don't think it's a very good idea around that time to like make major choices. But it is a very nice time to research, to know more about the connections, or learn a lot more about the company that you want to be going to. I keep saying company because it's the 10th house. It doesn't have to be for everyone, okay? It's just about your goals and ambitions, your, the way that you want to showcase yourself in the public sphere, topics like that. But I'm just tagging it as career. All right. So, yeah, you can research a lot more, know things a lot more, kind of see what you have to prepare before you go full throttle ahead, which you will have the chance once Mercury goes direct once more, because right after that it goes into Gemini, and then, you're able to go full force forward with your learning, communication, and whatnot. Okay, anyway, long story aside, we have Mercury moving to Taurus in the 3rd of the month. Okay, so from the 3rd till the 21st it's direct, and then on the 21st it goes retrograde. The shadow period is going to start much earlier, so it's kind of like the mind is starting to get a little bit lethargic, and we're getting a little bit slow with processing information, so kind of account for that as well. That's taking place around the 7th or the 8th, it's starting to hit. So yeah, I will be posting about that on my community page, you can learn more about it. Okay, now on the 6th we have a full moon in Libra, and that means the moon is in Libra and the sun is in Aries. Cardinal signs, Aries is very much up your alley, Libra not too much, but it's okay, we can make do with this. This can show that, some conversations you might have is just having sort of a clarity moment for you. Something just hits home here. With Mercury conjoining North Node on that particular day, perhaps you have some internal sort of clarity too about your priorities and goals, just a realization that you just can't ignore at this time. Your mind might be very focused, very concentrated, you might be making some long-term commitments or promises to yourself, and so on. Up until the 21st, if you get like a contractual thing and things are like moving ahead smoothly, then yeah, that's completely fine. I'm just talking about the retrograde phase that, not big promises be made. Okay, now on the 11th, we have Venus moving into Gemini, so you will be more attracted to intellectual conversations. There would be more of an abundance of ideas and things you might want to read, or people that you want to collaborate with. You might also have a lot better relationships with your neighborhood and your local community. The relationship you have with your own mind is as well doing quite good. You're happy with the ideas you have, you're perhaps happy with the answers you're delivering, the solutions you're coming up with, and so on. We have a lot more aspects going on throughout the month. I will not talk about all of them, but I will post them on my community page. So like I said, subscribe, hit the bell, and it will take you there when the time is right. Okay, so your tarot. The first card we have is the major theme of the month with New Moon Begin. This obviously corresponds with the Aries energy we were seeing earlier. It is a time of the new moon and hence of new beginning and potential. So something new is just brimming in the background, and not everything is clear yet, but it will be. Okay, it will be like in May at some point. But you still have this feeling. New moons are all about, I can almost sense something coming up. I can feel that there is a new beginning just around the corner. Okay, it's kind of that vibe coming through for you. Okay, then we have wind chimes with peace and harmony. That's always nice to see in any month. Then we have gavel, second major highlight, involvement with the law. Yeah, we did see the 9th house topics. 9th house relates with the legal system. And we have the well, which says family wishes come true. Okay, so some wish they have for themselves or for you is coming to fruition around this time. You might be making something legal with the involvement with the law. Some documents you want to get signed, things like that could be coming to a head. So I already told you the time frame for when it's going to go the most smoothly. It doesn't mean that during retrograde it's like impossible. Of course, I was again called back and things like that. It's just a lot more messy. So, your discernment, your call, in the end, you do you, right? But either way, there is happiness, and this being the first major highlight, it's like generally you're happy with whatever outcome there is. So for whatever reason there is a connection with the legal system, it's turning out happily for you. Okay, I want to see some more cards. First, emotions of love coming through. This is that piece. I feel a sense of innocence. That's what I hear first. Then we have choices, knowledge, and illumination, definitely heightening your awareness. Now, the legal system can also be like you're getting an acceptance into a college, and now you have to take care of the finances and make sure you confirm on time, and other documents you have to send to make sure you're an official student over there, things like that. Could also be what we're talking about here, because 9th house talks about higher education and like additional courses you take to heighten your knowledge and kind of expand your horizons there. So there is illumination coming through, most likely around the time of the full moon, but you could have some senses coming through for what's to come in your personal future around the end of the month. Now, first, emotions of love. Like I said, there is an innocence. You might feel a little bit more sensitive here, but in a sense, you can feel more of that peace and harmony. You're enjoying the little things in life, I think. You have like bigger things going on, but you're enjoying and prioritizing the little things in life. You're eating well, you're with the people you care about, you're doing things you are enjoying, things like that. So yeah, as I like it, because if your internal state is doing good, then it doesn't matter what the external is, you're fully equipped to deal with it. We have the 5 of Cups coming through first. Then we have Justice. Wow, okay, we've had plenty of legal tones. We have the Knight of Wands. Then we have the 3 of Wands. This can be for some of you if you're in an unhappy relationship or something of that sort. There is a good chance of that leveling out, or you might be figuring out a promise or a deal with each other, which makes most sense for both of you. Some might decide to leave the connection fully because you're just unhappy in that type of dynamic, and you're choosing to care for yourself first, and you're making that a priority. Then we have Queen of Pentacles coming up in the end. Those who are involved with the law for like other reasons, not relationship breaking up and so on, then this can talk about, it might be a little bit painful to like go through the whole process of like slowly but surely you like chugging along, you're taking care of certain documents and so on, and you also have to wait for the other side to respond. But with the following 3 cards, it looks like you're liberated, you're happy, you're very hopeful and optimistic for things that are unfolding beyond this point. Now, the 3 of Wands says that you're being accepted, or there is a yes coming through very soon. Like I said, it's that around the corner, and that's when the excitement kind of builds up more. Oftentimes, when we like don't even know what actually is going to happen, we can still feel a sense of tingling or some butterflies, or a fired up type of aura that we just get. Sometimes intuitively we feel that, and then before you know it, you have the answer, you have the go ahead, you have the green light, you just can go on and make something happen for yourself here. Now, the Queen of Pentacles is connected with businesses, so you can be making that legal, and you're very excited about that situation. And again, 5 of Cups can indicate that the process might be a little bit confusing, I'm hearing, or it's just you need some connections to kind of explain it to you a little bit clearer, but you're figuring it out and you are establishing yourself basically. Wow. So yes, if you've not yet begun and you do have to do the research, I think April is a very nice time to figure things out here and get the necessary connections to make everything go more smoothly than otherwise. 3 of Wands also indicates like manifestations coming true. You could be traveling someplace, taking a vacation, you're like finishing off some type of procedure here, and it might not have been a very inspiring time is what I hear. At the very least, 5 of Cups indicates that it's just being a drawl. Like, it's not your cup of tea, and you just have to deal with this whole documentation stuff. You would rather be having fun, you'd rather be out there and socializing and things like that, but you kind of have to deal with the boring bits for now. So you're taking care of it, and as soon as you're done in this month and onwards, you're moving on to much lighter and fiery times. Now, Aries, we have that involvement, and that's a fellow fire sign, so it's interacting with you very beneficially. It's giving you hope, it's giving you that drive and motivation, it's pushing you along. It's like, I know it's not that fun, but we're just gonna, go through it. We're just gonna do it. That's it. We're not gonna think about it, nothing. We're just gonna go for it, do it, establish it, and done. And done. Because you're also keeping in mind like what it is that you are doing this for. Right? What is it that you're really wanting here? 3 of Wands has that singular hope and that singular desire to make something come through, whether it is a message or it's a confirmation, whatever it is, right? There is a desire there which is very burning and it's very clear. Same goes with the Knight of Wands. It's in the pursuit of adventure, of something that's just very exciting to you. And I love the grounding influence of the Queen of Pentacles, which means you're very focused on it. It's not something flighty at all. Like I was saying, there is a form of promise taking place here, which adds a lot of security to your life. So even if you're leaving behind someone, you feel a lot more secure because now you can do whatever you want. You have that freedom. You're also confident in yourself, so on and so forth. And even if you're like joining with someone here or making something legal, you're just feeling a lot more secure and supported all around. Now, the Knight of Wands, Three of Wands can indicate some potential suitors too. So if you're looking for some romantic partners, you're like being done and dusted with like a previous connection, you're making peace with that, finding balance within, and you're kind of ready to meet new people. And you have a very high sense of self-worth here, and you're coming across very charming and grounded. I'm also hearing sensual but passionate all at the same time, so you're kind of attracting a lot of people. But your focus with these two cards is like, yeah, you know, I'm just going to see what's the best choice for me. You're just doing you. You're happy with yourself, and you're doing what would make you feel happy. So if you enjoy someone's connection and conversation, you're definitely going to follow through with that. But you're not going to force anything to happen over here. Wow. Okay. You're just very dedicated to feeling good and, yeah, expanding in your personal life. Very strong. Financially as well, very hopeful. If you're making your business legal, like you're kind of registering your business here, it can be that you get some benefits and you're very hopeful for what's to come down the line. Okay, so you're making some choices, but you're very excited about these things. Let's see what else we have. Leos, please, for the month of April. 5th house, Taurus and Mars. Nice. Sorry, Venus. Okay, so even better, actually. Now, Venus rules Taurus, and that in the 5th house indicates, like I said, you have a lot of dating opportunities going on here, but you might find someone that you especially enjoy because the conversations you have are very interesting, or you might have the same mental, you know, frequency, kind of, you vibe, sort of. The sensuality and also passionate, that topic that I was talking about, that's really being emphasized there. You're feeling very charming. You naturally are very charming, Leos, okay? But you're being extra magnetic here. And it's so effortless. I just keep hearing effortless. Very effortless for you to attract the right type of environment, people, and form of expression. Now, 5th house is about self-expression as well, and so is you, Leo. So there can be like new ways that you might be showcasing yourself through dance, through some other sort of movement. Perhaps you're like into athletics. That also could be something you want to do. It can be changing your appearance or your hair in some way, trying out new types of clothing or different applications of what you already have. Things of that nature where you're being a little bit more experimental, and that's just really fun. It's awakening this sort of creativity in you, which also Leo stands for, and you're feeling very excited once again for what's to come. There's a sense of fulfillment, groundedness, and peace. One more. 12th house, Cancer, and the North Node. Okay, so yeah, the leaving behind something that is emotionally disturbing or just unfulfilling and it has kind of run its course is a very big focus for you, and it's kind of that which is being broken through, basically. Okay, and some karmic situations and cycles that have also been ongoing for some time. I think you're letting loose of those things, and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to focus on the happy stuff, or I'm going to focus on what I have learned and grown from instead of what has not gone my way. Because that's really the lesson of the 5 of Cups here. We have the 4 cups spilling over, like empty and cracked, and we have just one over here standing, which talks about the Ace of Cups. So you might lose things that are just unimportant for you, but I feel you're on board. You know this already, what needs to go. It can be even mindsets, okay, and perspectives that you have. 12th house talks about like what's hidden beneath the surface and like the emotions attached to it. For example, some people make a lot of jokes because they want to hide their own pain. They socialize a lot so that they don't have to face their own emotions. So that is kind of the underlying emotion that I'm talking about here, which can be attracting certain types of relationships that you're not very fond of. So yes, you're already aware of this in some measure, And North Node says we're going to bring that into focus and we're going to deal with that and be done with it because it's no longer relevant to us anymore. Okay. And Cancer is in your 12th house there. So some of you might have North Node in the 12th house or North in Cancer. And that indicates you must prioritize your heart, your feelings, your intuition. Also, your spiritual growth and progress is very important to you, or that is the path of highest fulfillment for you if you have this placement. But if you don't, then that is true for this particular month, that you find most joy in times of seclusion, spending time with you, observing your own thoughts or your emotions, kind of feeling secure in yourself here. Letting go of other people's influences, other people's vibes and emotions and things like that could be just very releasing, very cleansing and loving for you. 12th house also connects with that innocent part of us because it's, again, very spiritual. So it, in essence, is very pure. So you can be tapping into like a deeper part of yourself with whom you connect very authentically. The Queen of Pentacles here can talk about mindfulness and other like yoga. I keep hearing yoga. I heard it before, but I forgot to say it out loud. So yes, some of you could be getting into yoga here or other forms of mindfulness and cleansing. Perhaps you're going into nature, trekking somewhere, going on an adventure, hiking, going near the water, things like that, where you just feel a sense of relief. Okay, you're like, I'm done. That cycle is over. Let's move on to the next. What's next? Very nice. So that's what I have for you, Leos. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. More importantly, please let me know your thoughts. And if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box in the comment below. And yes, like I said, I will be posting your eclipse reading and also more posts on community. If you're interested, subscribe and hit the bell. You'll be notified about everything. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you some other time. Take care. Bye.